Hey there, guys. So today we have our third and final installment of the series. So we did Sam Adams, we did Weyerbacher, now we have Cigar City. Cigar City's Good Gourd. So this is the largest of the beers, 9.6%, but also probably the hardest one to find. Luckily, in New York, we get a sparing amount of this beer. So lucky enough to get Good Gourd for the first time. So beer comes in this kind of like reddish hue to it. It has a ruby brown, kind of deep brown kind of color. Let's get the aroma on this one. By the way, they brew this with Ceylon cinnamon, Jamaican allspice, Zanzibar clove, and nutmeg. I'm cheating. I'm looking at the label, but yeah, it has a really wonderful kind of like jammy kind of sweetness to it. It's as if you could make like pumpkin spice jam. There's a really wonderful depth of just sweetness, caramel. Yeah, just absolutely delicious. But the spices dig in as well. You get the cinnamon, the nutmeg, a touch of clove in the back. It smells very sweet and decadent. Cheers. Wow. That's fantastic. Very nice. It really has a lot of flavor going on. Again, it has this kind of like pumpkin pie candy kind of note. If you could turn pumpkin spice syrup into a thing, that would be a little bit of that. Pumpkin spice jam, get a little bit of that. There's just a really wonderful depth of like jamminess and brown sugar and caramel sweetness, all interwoven with the malt is really offering that kind of caramelly kind of flavor. But then there's also a nice attack of the cinnamon, the nutmeg, all those wonderful flavors just digging through. Clove towards the back end again. And there is a kind of like gourd, kind of pumpkin kind of flavor in the middle. You're tacked on with a little bit more spice. There's a nice kind of alcohol kind of hit to dry out the beer. Not as aggressive as this one because it really has a really wonderful depth of flavor. There's a breadiness. There's a nice toasted quality. The sweetness lingers. There's a mouthfeel chewiness to this beer. And the caramel and the residual sweetness sort of helps tame that kind of booze. So you sort of get a roller coaster of the sweetness and the spice and the booze and a little bit more sweetness. And really just a complete experience, whereas this one obviously dropped off a little bit. Just fantastic beer. And like, there's even a fruitiness from the pumpkin, sorry. At first, I almost thought it was like strawberry jam or something like that, but it has a really fruity kind of pumpkin note, which is really nice. Like the pumpkin really jumps through along with the spices, so it's a very fantastic, complete experience. As for rating, definitely one of my favorites in style. I mean, these are the only three I've had this year, and this is easily one of my favorites from memory. So, as for rating, again, I'm not going to go out of my way and pick this style. It's not my favorite style, but this one, if I had to, I'd probably pick this beer. Very nice. I enjoy it. 90. Let's go with the 90 on this one. Really good stuff. I have a good amount. Yeah, sure. It looks like I have a good amount for a cuvee. So I left a little bit in the bottles, and so we're going to cuvee. Why not? Some people would argue that I'm ruining Good Gourd right now, but hey, who knows? It's all for fun. So let's see how this goes. Beer, yeah, it looks sort of like Good Gourd, but a little bit less reddish hue, and a little bit like, coming and looking here, it looks like a deep reddish hue. A lot more clarity. This one is actually a pretty hazy beer. Let's get the aroma on this one. Okay. So now we've taken away that kind of like big caramelly sweetness and depth of like jamminess. Now we're talking more about like malt quality, toasted qualities. And then like more of these kind of like sweeter kind of spice notes. This one was more like cohesive to me. Cheers. Oh, that's a mind F. A lot of flavors going on. Like, I'm like trying to like now collect every memory I have of this beer, this beer, this beer. As you know what? Maybe I shouldn't try to combine the memories together. Just like drink this as a beer itself. That's actually pretty nice. Yeah. So, whereas this one was more, I would argue, like a dessert kind of sipper. You really get that rich sweetness up front. These three combined is actually pretty complete beer. Again, it's like, has a really big amounts of the tame kind of qualities of this one. Both of these big beers really like help fill out the shoes of this one, because the Sam Adams is pretty light of a beer, even though it's tame. It's a small beer as well. These really help with a little bit more spice addition. But again, these two were, I don't know. It's hard to like understand like where anything is coming from, but as a beer, it's actually pretty delicious. If this was imperialized a little bit, I guess with these two it's already imperial, but if we kept it, this is 5.7, this is 9.6. If we kept it around 8-9%, if we jumped up the sweetness a little bit, popped the spices a little bit more, this would be better than all three combined. But right now it's a little bit confusing. I really like this one the most, probably. Better than the Cuvée. But this is very delicious. So until next time, guys, cheers. Let me know if I actually need to do more pumpkin beers. This series is very fun. Until next time, guys, later. Enjoy your pumpkin beers. Cheers.